Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a little bit of speculation, and by a little bit, I do mean a little bit, just because I'm pretty sure you guys have already been talked to death about all of this going on with Total War Warhammer 3, the Ogre Kingdoms, Khorne, and Greenskins DLC that has been revealed and teased, and they've shown a couple of things, so we're just going to touch on it. I'm going to talk about the things that have been shown. A couple of them I think would be game-changing, maybe just mainly one. At least for some of the factions, or one of the factions in this instance. And then I'm also going to give myself a hopium pick that I hope does show up in the DLC, and probably very likely won't. But, you know, I'm crossing my fingers. We're going to see if it happens or not. So first off, just to kind of touch on the Legendary Lords, let's start with the Ogre Kingdom side of things. The Goldfag Maneater is making it into the spotlight, as everyone thought he would. He was the pretty much most popular, or at least most well-known ogre character. So this guy had to make it in. Sadly, it doesn't look like we'll probably get a Gark Ironskin or any other lords for this faction. Maybe in the form of free LC in the future, but more than likely this is probably them done. So we'll leave it at that. But you know, 3 ogre lords. Maneater hopefully is plenty of fun. I'm really hoping that they give Greasus a glow up, because he is just hot trash right now, and you know they can do some things for Scrag too. He's no good himself either. But Goldfag seems like he will be a pretty epic lord with plenty of campaign mechanics and all sorts of things. Hopefully he plays well in battle, but he's probably just a souped up tyrant. Not too much going on there. I should probably do more research on him, but I really don't think there's going to be anything super new or special to the Ogre Kingdoms roster through him on the battle side of things. In campaign, I'm sure he will change the game quite a bit. Now let's move on to some of the units. We have the Thunder Tusk that has been revealed. This is probably just a little more of a defensive version or slower version of the Stonehorn. It has a breath attack. It has a chilling aura. I'm really hoping that this will become a mount for lords, and maybe even heroes. Probably the Hunter, but I mean, it'd be great if we could just get some other characters on this thing. That's, I guess, probably my hopium pick for the Ogre Kingdoms. Since we're here, I'll mention it. I would love for the Lords, like the Tyrant, probably not the Slaughtermaster, but I mean, I won't say no. But mainly just the Tyrant. Heck, I'd love to give Greasus something like this too, but I really like them to have a mount like the Stonehorn or the Thunder Tusk. Heck, I'll take a Rhinox or a Mournfang. Mournfang are just amazing. I love Mournfang. So, mounts for the Lords. That's my opium pick for the Ogre Kingdoms. Now let's move on to the last little bit. This is the Blood Vultures. Now this is what I think is going to be game-changing for the Ogres, and that's why kind of I want to make this video, because I do want to stress the importance I think these guys will have in the Ogre Kingdoms roster. They are a flying unit. They do not have any flying unit. And if you guys have played Ogre Kingdoms, at least in a multiplayer perspective, where you're fighting another army of equal strength, and they have cannons, you will know the pain that cannons can bring to your roster. Cannons typically are meant to kill, you know, big single pieces, or maybe hit some cavalry, things like that. Against other rosters, they suck against infantry and the larger portion of your army. But the ogres, your infantry are ogres, monstrous infantry, and cannons will absolutely obliterate ogres. It is just pain. It is pain. And every time I play against factions with cannons, I usually go Gorgers and double stock Stonehorn, and I just avoid being pelted by those things as much as possible. So I'm really excited for the Blood Vultures. They are going to bring us some skirmish game in the air. We'll actually have something that can maybe threaten, heck, even thunder barges and other air flying units. But more importantly, they will be able to, hopefully they have Vanguard, and I really hope they give Sabertusk Vanguard as well, because that would add to that as well. But they will give a threat to those cannon-playing factions, which I think the Ogres desperately need. So I think that's going to be game-changing, at least from battle perspective. Obviously, not going to have too much of an impact on the campaign. So that should be the Ogres. I guess the last thing I'd mention is I really do hope they get Man-Biters. So those are a more armored version of Nobblars, a more elite version of Nobblars. It'd be nice to have a mid-range infantry, but I understand if they don't. You know, it's Ogres, monstrous infantry faction. That's what you are, so it's fine. Let's move on to Khorne. So we do have Skulltaker. I imagine he will probably have, in my opinion, I think he should have something very similar to Auxiodal's campaign mechanic, where he can teleport places. But instead of places, it's more so he's teleporting to specific people. And so he's not teleporting to like a faction capital or a certain province or whatever. He's teleporting to that lord, instigating fight, killing him hopefully, probably, and then he can stay there if he wants, maybe something like that would be cool for him. But he is basically just a souped up Herald of Khorne. He's gonna be great. He's gonna be super strong duelist. Excited to see him. He'll probably be expensive though, just like most of the Khorne lords. So multiplayer wise, I don't think he's probably going to add too crazy much. We'll have to see. I am excited for him though. He's a cool character. He's probably my favorite Khorne character. So it'll be nice to play someone other than Scarbrand. And I'm sure we'll get a free LC along with this too, which everyone's saying will probably be Arbol. So I do believe that as well. Arbol probably sounds cool. He might bring a little bit more to the multiplayer side, but excited for him as well. Unit-wise, we have confirmed the Slaughter Brute. Now, I'm imagining they're going to follow the route that they eventually took with the Vortex Mutolith Beast and make this an anti-infantry monster. I think that is good for Khorne, even though Khorne has anti-infantry in spades. If they make him anti-large, he's just, going to be another Gorgon or Bloodthirster, and I mean, those roles have just been filled to the brim in the Khorne roster, both anti-infantry and anti-large, but at least we don't have an anti-infantry, like, dedicated monster. So this, you could argue, is a little bit more unique. I really don't think he'll change too much about the Khorne playstyle, especially, well, mainly in battle. I think he'll make a great Doom stack, but probably nothing too crazy there. My, Hopium pick for Khorne is a very big Hopium pick, and you'll have to forgive me. I am going to be a shameless Beastman player. Obviously, we're going to get Khorne Gores, but I would love and think it would be awesome if they gave us the Praeton. I know you're thinking, what? Praeton elk thing in Khorne? That doesn't make any sense. Well, the Praeton's whole, like, shtick is that he has hatred towards everything. He hates everything. Hates, or she, whatever. I don't know if there's a gender there. Praetons hate things immensely, which is very, very, very Khornite. And I think it would potentially add a little bit to Khorne. I will be completely honest, this Hopium pick is mainly just the Beastman in me. Heck, I want a Doombowl Lord out of this faction too, so I need to be very careful there. If Khorne doesn't get that, it's great, it's fine. Hell, no ill will. I won't even be sad if they don't get the Praeton. But I love it enough, and I really don't think Beastmen are going to be getting a DLC ever. And if they get a free LC, it might be characters. I don't think they'll get units. So the only way they're getting stuff is through these trickle feed from all these Warriors of Chaos. Well, these Chaos factions and Demon factions DLCs. So that's kind of my hope. I don't think it'll happen, but Praeton would be super cool. I'd love it. And I don't really think there's anything else to go over in Khorne lists to kind of game change and make their faction play a little bit better in battle. I think a super cheap Lord actually would be super good. So instead of going the Doombowl route, as much as I love it, something like a Shaman that just has buffs and is like dirt cheap, not really a melee character, and it costs like six maybe 800 gold with a mount kind of thing, would be really useful for Khorne. Their roster really shines through their every other piece, infantry piece. Valkia, I guess, is probably their most meta Lord, but something cheap Lord would be nice, but we'll see what happens. So that's that. And then moving on to the Greenskins, we do have Gorbad Ironclaw. I am so excited for Gorbad. I really don't think he's going to bring too much new to the roster. Even in campaign mechanics, I think he will be a very stock standard. He'll have his own thing, but he's nothing shiny or new. I just love his lore, and I think Gorbad is the coolest Greenskin character ever. That is the cavalry general bias in me, though, so I'm excited for him for that reason. The only confirmed, well, and technically this isn't even confirmed, but they mentioned the Colossal Squid. They said Colossal coming in with it, so, that terminology was used, so definitely probably getting this thing. I think it could be good. It's probably going to have an anti-infantry profile. Maybe not. Maybe it has an anti-large. I don't know. Anti-large profile would be super useful on it for the Greenskins. They need like a 1v1 anti-large monster. It would be very, very useful at that point. Hopefully it's fairly cheap. I don't really know what the costs would be around this thing, but I'm thinking like a mid-tier, like higher than a Bastiladon probably, but quick, fast, maybe like a Jabberslythe. Really good animations. That's probably what will make or break this thing, if it has decent animations or not. And then at that point, it'll become a staple on the roster and totally make the Greenskins stronger and in battle and everything. Or, it'll just be like a rogue idol and you'll never see it. But, it's cool. It's fun. It's there. I don't think anything else was revealed, so... Oh, my hopium pick for the Greenskins is some heavy cav. I know that's probably not going to happen. Again, kind of like the Praeton pick, only this is maybe even less likely because this is Age of Sigmar that I'm thinking of is the Gore Gruntas in the Ironjawz army. I would absolutely love to see something like that because I think it would match super well with Gorbad, and heavy cav is, I just love cav, so throwing something in there that's a little bit heavier than Boar Boys would be, fun to me. But I understand that's probably not happening. So there's my hopium pick. And there's my basically probably not super short, but that's my video on covering what we've seen so far for this upcoming DLC. I am super duper duper excited to play this one. I love Greenskins, I love Khorne, and Ogres are in my top 3 factions. So very, very excited. And there you go. Bit of speculation, bit of hopium, and hope you did enjoy the video. I'm probably going to be focusing on speculation videos like this, and more so, tip videos, tips, how-tos, things like that. I've got a big long list of videos that I've come up with, so we're going to see if I can make those work, and then, we'll still try to throw in the odd battle replay and whatnot. So, all right, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you later.